Welcome to The Private Eye. In this episode, we look at some of the highlights that we've had throughout this whole series. I will be your host, Kimani Shege. To start us off, we start with a quick analysis of both the business and technological fields and some of the issues that we are focusing on. Let's take a look.
Apart from the passion that one has when doing something, getting paid has become a vital factor in this current society.
From the days of Kalamashaka to Nameless and the current Bahati and Sauti Sol, solo artists and groups alike have always had a great influence on the Kenyan audience, and upcoming musicians have a hard time breaking into that market. I caught up with several university students, and this is how they reacted to that matter.
Music is just one genre that pays you, but it won't pay your bills. But you need to pick up very different stuff to do, like now they were saying ads, voiceovers. You need to diversify your own work, because now the flow of money needs to be diversified, because music doesn't entirely pay the bills as it is right now.
Kenyan music business, first of all, is growing quite well, but then we find that we do have a few musicians amongst us who had the privilege to develop, had the privilege to grow quite earlier than others, and I tend to think that they are a bit selfish with the market that they have, in such a way that they seem to try as much as possible to keep others out so that they can maximize on the profits that they get.
I met with a music scholar and an artist as they got to share their 2 cents on this issue.
For campus students in Kenya, one of the hardest things that they have to face when trying to break into the music industry is connections, because the people who are dominating the industry at the moment are remarkably older than them. Well, not too much, but let's say 6 years. In the music industry, 6 years is a lot. The hardest thing for them would be making connections, and connections that lead not only to making a new track, but also getting gigs, and not gigs for a one time, but a steady source of gigs, so that they can have a steady income and build a very steady relationship.
And as an artist, for those who are smart enough, yes, there's cash. For example, there is corporates who endorse, maybe they want you to endorse them in something, or maybe to create music as an advert, as soundtrack, vitu kaa hizo tu yani. There's a lot of cash for those who are smart enough. I think the biggest error artists do is kukimbilia fame, and then wanasahau there is supposed to be a hustle inside kwa hiyo muziki.
The question remains, will the upcoming musicians ever get a way around those monopolies? Reporting for Private Eye, my name is Isaac Sanya.
The great advancement of technology has made the world a global village. This has compromised the level of security that we have enjoyed over the years.
With many of the things that we use in our daily lives being digitized, life has become easier and more efficient. However, the linking of all these things to the internet has compromised the privacy and ultimately the level of safety that we enjoy. I caught up with the university students, people who are online for quite a long period of time, and this is what they had to say on the matter.
I do not think that we are safe anymore, because with the era of hacking, people knowing your details, and the fact that you give each and every detail when you're using the internet, we are no longer safe, because anyone can maliciously use those details to come and attack you. And we've seen that where banks, someone can go and empty someone's account because of the simple details they gave out somewhere.
We are not safe at the moment. It's a bit risky to be on social media, and of course with technology rising, so safety issues, no. Actually, at the moment I don't trust technology being on social media.
I met with an IT guru and a computer science scholar, and they shed light on this particular issue.
One thing about the cyberspace is that there's no control, so we can't really determine what gets to happen in the cyberspace. So we're not safe. We can put measures to try and protect ourselves individually. What can be done? I think the best thing would be making people more aware. Like trying to tell people to avoid, like, when you go to certain websites, you'll see pop-ups, and people, as human beings, we're very curious. So if you can be able to educate people and so they can be able to understand what is a phishing site or what is a legit or a genuine website and application, stuff that won't compromise your.
A lot of conferences are being done right now are there to just sensitize people about what cybersecurity is all about. There's a new law that is being set to actually curb everything to do with cyber crimes, and people should get to know that, okay, so there is a real risk of me using all this technology, and should go out there and actually decide, you know what, I'm going to learn everything that is non-techie to be able to secure myself. Like maybe deciding that I'm going to be changing my passwords every 3 months, and not just changing my password, using passwords that are super secure.
Due to the fact that technology keeps evolving, we have to find a way around these matters that affect our safety. Reporting for the Private Eye, my name is Joel Omulo.
Sawa.
OLX, OLX,
Sell it.
OLX, OLX, OLX.
To turn your stuff into cash fast and for free, sell it now at olx.co.ke.
I told you we should sell it.
Shifting gears to the political scene, we get to look at why Christian leaders move into the political arena. Take a look.
With more and more church leaders getting into politics, the trend has even caught up with campus politics.
Bishop Margaret Wanjiru is one of the most notable names when it comes to this, and she seems to be trailblazing as more and more church leaders, especially in campuses, get to follow suit. In Daystar University, especially the Nairobi campus has had to trend for a number of years, where the fellowship chair gets to dip their foot in the political waters. I caught up with a few students from Athi River campus, and this is what they had to say.
So for politics and religion, I feel like you should choose one of them that you're comfortable with. It doesn't mean that if you choose DUSA over DCF that you're meant to be more of DUSA than DCF. I mean, if you're a political personality, then your religion is still intact. As long as you maintain your religion and your belief and your faith, I feel like it's okay.
You cannot, I do not think you can separate the church from politics, if you would want to call it that way. I do not again subscribe to one who is a pastor, for that matter, again, getting into politics.
I caught up with the resident chaplain Daystar University Athi River campus and the former DUSA president Nairobi campus, and this is what they had to say concerning that matter.
Leaders within the church are predominantly priestly leaders. Those are not political operatives at all, and it is not right for them to therefore enter the political territory. In my own backyard at Daystar Nairobi, there has been a trend where people join CU for the express purpose of having come from CU, then to join DUSA. Now you see what that does is that it defiles the church, it defiles the sanctity of the temple.
Any religious leader whose office is clearly defined and they are sure of their calling, for me, I do not support them going for political positions, just for a simple reason, because they already have identified their calling. And when I check through the scriptures, there is no given time that any person in the times of writing of the Bible and the history of Israelites, that we had a king who was also a prophet, or a king who was also a priest. Those offices were distinct.
Leadership authority comes from God, be it in politics or in the church. Reporting for the Private Eye, I am Harrison Masharia.
Alright, today we are joined by the DUSA President Aspirant Paul Ogola. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, straight to things. You have served in the ministry, the DCF ministry here at Daystar University as the missions team vice chair, yes? What makes you think that you, as now the student, what makes you think you'll be qualified to run for now this DUSA president post?
Wow, that is a very good question, Mr. Paul. Very many people have asked me the same, but I tell them one thing that I will also share with you today. allow me derive it a bit backward. Many people think that when you serve, especially in this university, when you serve under DCF, then when to aspire to serve under DUSA, then you have backslided as a Christian. And that's a notion that I want to help us eradicate from our mentality. Serving God under politics does not mean that somebody is backslided. It just means that you want to serve God in another dimension. Now, I served God fervently and passionately under DCF. And my fruits are evident. I joined the fellowship when we were 60. I'm now leaving the office when we are 150 plus. That's an achievement, which I bless the Lord for the grace. And the Bible directs me where I got my revelation to serve in DUSA. Luke 12:48. The scripture says that to whom much is given, much is expected. And that is my directory that gives me mandate to serve under DUSA.
All right, very interesting. Politics is a dirty game, as many people say that, and I like the way you said you're not backsliding as a Christian. But we do realize that politics is a dirty game. What are now the things? Don't you think you'll be tainted as a Christian?
I know, and I'm prepared for it, and I've also had some taking place as per now, that the ladies that have been counseling here in the office, they are now turning around that I've been counseling them and sleeping with them at the same time. Now I call them because the Bible says that a good name is better than gold and silver. So I call them to openly rebuke me, rather tell me where I went wrong. No one was bold enough to point a finger at me. And I was found clean because my credentials, my age cannot allow me to do that. You get it? So I'm prepared for the dirty game. Why? I keep on seeing errors in our midst. That is what has made us Christians go wrong. We see things happening negatively, but we don't take action because we are scared. That's a dirty game.
Now, there's something you said about counseling and all that, and from that I derive you're a person who actually is quite emotional and you like taking up things with your whole heart. Don't you think that will be your downfall, especially as a president? Don't you think that would affect you as a president from making objective decisions?
If I recapitulate a bit, just to pardon me, I did say that I'm holding them within me. I had them and I had to address them. I am them amicably. That is me. It makes me be me.
Maybe you've not understood me. What I mean is, like, not really holding them in, but allow me to even use Kiswahili. Kubeba vitu, I don't know how to put it. Like, you really carry things with the whole of your heart, and you're not really you're taking the problem and going with it and really carrying it and taking it almost as if it's personally.
Now, this is the understanding. When it comes to ministry, it is white and black. You put things transparently and you address them as you fall ahead. When it comes to politics, you don't have to approach things head on, because there are some who will set a trap for you. If you face them head on, you will find yourself fixed in a corner. So I don't think it will challenge me. In fact, the mission platform has given me ability to meet different people with different temperamentals, that I know how to approach who, and I know how to handle what matters at hand.
And just even thinking about this still on matters to do with emotions, I talked to a few people, a number of people, and at times there are those, no one is perfect. I do have my weaknesses, everyone has their weaknesses. And when I asked them about weaknesses, they said some of them actually stated that you might have a short fuse, especially with things that really some may consider petty.
I don't believe I'm petty. What I know is I'm straightforward. If something is wrong, it is wrong whether we pampered it how many times. So I like it when things are straight. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm pursuing perfection. That is why people who feel that I'm petty, they don't augur well with the platform that I'm laying them. So that we just do away with the tainted nature of our school. You get it? Yeah. Enough is enough with the status quo, where things are happening on daily basis with the same system. And I want to give us opportunity that we iron these petty issues, which when we don't iron them, at the end of the day, they become bigger issues. Then they sabotage us academically, socially, then we go out half-baked students.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure to have you, sir.
Now we get to liven things up a bit. We get to look at the entertainment scene as we get to know why, as Kenyans, we don't incorporate our culture into our music.
Music is one of the cornerstones of our current society today. However, the Kenyan music is suffering through the lack of identity.
With Tanzanians known for bongo music, Nigerians with the Afrobeat, and the South Africans with their kwaito, the Kenyan powerhouses in the industry have failed to establish a particular sound that will give the industry an identity. I caught up with a few campus students, and this is what they had to say on the issue.
Personally, I think Kenyan music, one, it has grown from, you can't compare it to how it was, but we don't have our own sound. I think, personally, I think it's because of artists' ignorance. They feel that there's a lot of competition from the outside world, and they think more of international grounds, and they're forgetting they should start from somewhere.
I think the reason why Kenyan musicians have not yet been able to completely incorporate their culture into their music is because most of us are not yet proud of our own culture as a people, in terms of how we carry ourselves, what music we listen to, how we dress. We are still trying to really copy the Westerners. So I feel like we are not yet able to fuse our own culture because we don't even know what our own culture is. So what I'd encourage is for musicians out there, learn your culture, where you come from, so that you're able even to put the same into your own music.
I also met up with an artist and a music scholar, and they shed light on this matter.
The reason I think it's difficult for Kenyan musicians or Kenyans really to find their own sound is, I think for me, it's two major factors. Number one is that we try to be copycats. So you'll hear a lot of gospel music, even secular music nowadays trying to copy the trend, which is like Nigerian music. That's what's trending sana in Kenya. So like Nigerian music, it has that that's what's coming out nowadays. Or it'll have some Congolese stuff like Lingala, so you'll hear kina Lingala ya Yesu ama siji kina who. So number one, we try to copy so much, and not only that, even the Western kind of music. And then number two is that I'm a musician, and I want, like I've for so long been searching for, like my tribe is Kamba, so I've been searching for an authentic Kamba instrument of ours, and some of those things you can't really find unless they are modified. So nowadays we just end up falling to guitars or pianos, and you see those things are not African things. So that's why somehow I think you can't really find that sound.
It's unfortunate that there is no Kenyan sound, because every Kenyan that I've listened to, most of the Kenyans I've listened to, Kenyan musicians, are always trying to sound like someone from the West. Rappers sound like Jay-Z. R&B musicians sound like Rihanna and Beyonce. No one wants to sound like themselves. I don't know if they're afraid or ashamed of what they are, but I believe that there is greatness in uniqueness and authenticity. Many people don't want to sound like themselves, and that's why we don't have a Kenyan sound. It's very sad that it's only the older generation of the Maroon Commandos that have that sound. You know, there was a particular time when it was coming up, but something went wrong, and it's not there anymore. There's no Kenyan sound. Musicians need to put themselves together and realize that people will not buy what they already know. People want to buy something that's new and fresh, so they need to understand that they need to cultivate what they have, their uniqueness, their authenticity, and they'll be doing a lot better then. By incorporating our culture in our music, the Kenyan industry will grow and get an identity. Reporting for The Private Eye, I'm your reporter, Ruth Warrior.
Still on matters to do with music and culture, we are joined by one Joel Maina. He is one of the four of the talented boy band group here in Kenya, Le Band. Karibu sana.
Thanks, man.
As an upcoming musician, because I know you've not been in the industry for too long, what do you say about Kenya not having its own sound? Because when you think of Niger, you think of the Afrobeat, the way of music. When you think of South Africa, you think of the Afrobeats. But Kenya, we really don't have a particular sound, because even, our neighbors, Tanzania and Bongo. Yes.
I think it's a work in progress. So that I don't know, that question usually disturbs me a lot. And I feel like we have a sound. It's just that we compare it to Niger, we compare it to Tanzania, we compare it to so much. We don't focus on what we have and now make it ours, like, you know, call it ours. We feel like it is close to Nigeria, it is close to Tanzania, it is close to something. I feel like we have something going on. It's just that we need now to call it ours. But I don't know what it is. I also can't quite put my finger on it.
The Kenyan way of doing music, we've not really, as we bringing you back to the earlier point, we, as I said, we don't really have a particular sound. But why are we seeking Western training? Because this is something that I'm seeing. Even, for example, right now you're a student at Daystar and you're doing music, and I'm quite sure that the curriculum has not been set by a Kenyan, or is not particularly locally based, and you're doing a lot of things that are done in the Western way. Why is that?
First of all, our curriculum was set by Kenyans.
All right.
What we study here in Daystar University, the curriculum was set by Kenyans.
Yes.
So the Western standard of study is what we use as a model. That is to mean that the people in the West are the ones who came up with education systems for teaching music, for philosophies that are used to teach music. And to get this degree, you need to get to an international level of communication, which is the Western way that has been set. The same way a law student will have to do law at an international level, at a Western style of education. The same way a medicine student does it in Latin or whatever he does it in. In the same way we use this thing to study music. So Western influence is not, it makes our language universal. It makes our language understandable to every person. And that's the thing. So Western influence is very important. I mean, even when you're composing music, you feel like, manze, it's so Western, it's so Western. But that's what we've been introduced to, and that's what we grew up listening to all our lives. How do I escape that?
Wouldn't you now say that that's the main reason why, as Kenyans, we don't have an identity up to now? Because we are going for Western training, but then it's eroding our culture, it's eroding our whole posterity.
In as far as culture is concerned, yes, we don't, we are taught so much about the West. In fact, it's like 90% of our curriculum, even here in Daystar. You know, by then. I wish we had like a system where we are taught even cultural studies very deeply, very intensely by professors of cultural studies. That we lack. And to some point, I feel like, that's a reason. I mean, it's a reason why we don't have a sound, to a point,
Maybe what can you tell us you're doing as Joel, as an individual artist, and even as the band, and even just generally as a student of music? What will you do now moving forward to make sure that you don't lose the Africanness, the Kenyanness in you, if I put it that way?
So I feel like music is much more than a thing of the ears. It's visuals, it's life, it's culture, manze. So we try to incorporate our cultural aspects in our songs. For instance, the use of Sheng and Kiswahili, the urban contemporary thing that's going on in the streets right now. And I feel like people resonate with that a lot. So I won't escape the fact that I am very Western oriented in my music. But then again, I won't deny, I want to try my best to put in what I experience in life. So I wear beads like a true African. I practice, we write and sing in Kiswahili and English, and to say the least, I have so much more I can do for sure, man. And I'm still doing my research, and it's a journey that I'm still embarking on.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, man, I've had so much fun.
Sawa.
Wakati unapotunza upendo na utamaduni, ni halisi inakuwa tundo la maisha.
And now on to the segment that you've all been waiting for, the Hyperlocal Report. We decided that we'll only pick 2 of the best, and these are the ones that made the cuts.
What's up, guys? Today actually we're talking about cyber security. You know, with the current technology, the way things are going, it's not sometimes guaranteed that you're safe. when it comes to information, what you will publish, or even your personal documents. Nowadays, even someone can just get into your account and just get all the money in your account because of technology. Let's find out how people are saying. I don't know. Oh, there are some people here. Oh my goodness. So, what's up, brother?
I'm fantastic, huh?
Tunajiona camera, sindio? So, what do you think about cyber security? Do you think we are safe when it comes to technology and the way the internet is going so far?
I think we're not safe. Yeah. The main reason why we are not is there are phones out there, which I believe can be able to make sure you are unsafe. You know, technology is just so advanced nowadays. People make cheap things very, I like the word, but these phones can explode on your face. They can kill you. They're called Samsung phones.
So you think we are not safe?
I recommend that everybody should use either.
Okay, that's your opinion. Let's go.
A Techno or something else. You know, just don't use Samsung phones. But apart from that, I would also mention the fact that technology is something really good. It's vital. It's essential. But exaggeration of the same is really, really bad. So we should always be careful how we interact in the internet. Find so we can stop hacking, like, you know, Safaricom was hacked the other day. Very
awesome.
Very
now we are leaving him. Let's go in the car. So here we're in the car right now. What do you think about cyber security? Do you think we are safe with technology the way it is going?
I don't know. I think we're safe.
No,
I don't think we're safe, of course, but I think that we can be safe. I think that they're just technology is continuing to grow, so there's no way that we're going to stop technology and say that we're supposed to not exaggerate or something like that. It's going to continue. Even in 10 years to come, it's going to be even worse, like more advanced than it is now.
Awesome.
So we just have to find safety in our current technology, the way it's advancing. We have to find safety in that.
Awesome. What do you think, madam?
What I think of cyber security, I think it's secure because the people who made it, they had to consider the privacy of people. So I think it's safe.
Okay. Oh, that's what we had for today. Let's wait for the next topic. I'll be coming shortly. Bye!
Guys, welcome to The Private Eye with me. It's Mickey Pele, yours truly, of course. Here we always have something interesting to talk about. And here today we are talking about the Christian leaders, or rather Christians, infringing themselves into the political arena, especially Christian leaders. Let's talk to a few people here about that and see what's their opinion about this particular issue. Hey!
What up?
How you doing?
So close though.
Ooh, so close, okay.
Thank you.
Is that spot okay?
Yeah,
Let's show your good side.
That is my good side. Just like, hey, Dimple.
Amazing stuff. So what's your name?
Stella. My name is Stella Kibuti.
Stella. So tell us, what's your opinion about Christian leaders infringing themselves into the political arena? Political. It sounded almost Hindu.
I don't really know what to think, really. I feel like it will either corrupt them or they will bring a new aspect to it. But at the same time, I feel like religious leaders tend to impose their beliefs on everyone. Like, you need to follow this route specifically. And like, a religious walk is different for every single person. So, I don't know. Win, lose in every situation, I guess.
Okay, amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Stella.
No
Continue
props.
watching The Private Eye. We are going to find another person who has another comment probably about this particular issue. Hey,
Hi.
laptop chick, how you doing?
I'm fine. What's
So tell
up?
us, what's your name?
Modesta.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nickname love.
Thanks.
So tell us, what's your opinion of Christian leaders infringing themselves into the political arena? You know, infringing is a big word.
Yeah.
Let me break it down for you. Putting themselves there. An example is Bishop Margaret Wanjiru. What do you think about such leaders and them infringing themselves or putting themselves out there as far as politics is concerned?
I'm thinking it's good and bad at the same time. You know, they're trying to show that Christians can also be leaders, but they should also be not to put themselves too much in the limelight, so that they ask God for guidance. It's not meant for you. It's not meant. Shut up.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Modesta and Stella, who have given us their opinion of what they think about Christian leaders infringing themselves into the political arena. It's Mickey Pele.
All good things must come to an end. I do hope that you learned quite a bit in this whole series. For The Private Eye, I've been your host, Kimani Shege.